10 years, but...
10 years, yeah. I started young, though.
I was about to say, because you are young.
I am young. I'm 28. I turned 28 2 months ago.
Happy birthday.
Well, that's weird. You can't say happy birthday. It's like me saying,
Happy
New Year.
I didn't see you for your birthday.
It's like saying Merry Christmas.
Well,
I didn't see you on Christmas.
Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, Happy Easter, Happy Valentine's Day, Happy Father's Day, Happy...
What happened was they have this thing that's they had at our school called Job Shadow, which is like if you like a DJ, you go to hang out with a DJ for a weekend.
Of course.
Not everybody goes through that. You know how many times I've had to explain Job Shadow to people? They don't know. So I have to explain just in case the people at home don't, you know. And so I followed a couple of comedians. I particularly followed Kurt Conrad and Stuart Taylor because they were living together. But if they weren't living together, I'm sure I would have followed the other one. And the other guy was like, who's this guy with weird teeth? But anyway, I followed those guys, Riyad, Kagiso, Sepa Mokhali, and then like I came back to school. I told them, look, I followed some comedians. I got detention. And yeah, let's just say it's been 10 years since then.
Are we a funny nation, South Africans?
We are a hilarious nation, especially if you go down the road here and take a left on what is Adelaide Street, and then there's another short left at the place called Parliament. Ah, funny. Those guys are hilarious. First of all, they elected that other guy to be the president. Hilarious. Hilarious. It's the head of state. Let's say some HP was the president, we'll be making fun of him. If I started making fun of my uncle, no one knows my uncle. They don't know the references. They don't know how many wives he has. But the president, everyone knows. We voted for the guy. How?
Well, you do know, of course, that he's taking Zapiro and Avusa Media to court for that cartoon that depicts him raping justice and so forth.
Well, I mean, yeah, I think with a country with such high unemployment and people starving and education going to the dogs, and I don't think you should be suing people. I think you should be fixing the problems that we have. I don't think, I don't know. It's just it's a waste of time. So what? Okay, so Zapiro loses the case, and then what? What happens? Doesn't sort out all the problems that we have. Like, I don't understand this, no, let's leave our president alone. No, he must be accountable for everything he does.
We're not saying that at all, but make fun, perhaps, of the decisions that he's made.
Yes.
The fact that he's got a head that's shaped that way, like, there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, that's just poking fun. That's what I do. In case you forgot, I'm not a political analyst. I'm a comedian. I don't know. Yeah. So that's my
all right.
That's my take on it. On the show, researchers and political analysts and comedians who put the show together. I anchor it and I created the show. Yeah, it's basically South Africa's Jon Stewart version. I don't know. I don't know what else you'd like to know about the show. It's a first of its kind in South Africa because it's a show that looks at the week's politics and the week's happenings, and it breaks it down in a very comical way.
What makes your show a success when other shows hosted by other comedians who will remain nameless have not been a success?
The problem with I'll only use reference directly to my show is that as white people sometimes need to shut up and let black people. I'm telling you. I'll tell you what I mean. Like Zapiro, if I said the same thing about Jacob Zuma wouldn't have a problem, right? He'll just be like, yeah, whatever. Black people accept satire more from other black people. You know what I'm saying? If Zapiro did what I did on Zapiro does what I do on Zan News, but with puppets. But I'm like, my show is better. Because we actually have the real politicians there. We have the real news.
When do we get over that, though? When do we get over the fact that it only takes a black person?
When we get rid of Kailicha as a situation, when Kailicha doesn't exist, we can't. The problem I have with the DA is that they act like these parts of the country don't exist. Guguletu's there. You know, it's not Camps Bay.
And Guguletu gave birth to you, and you turned out reasonably okay.
The patronizing. Am I going too political?
The taxi association wanting to own an airline?
That is going to be nice. That's going to be one of those things. It's when, when the pilot comes to the back and goes, okay, Salsanen, 4-4. 4-4, please. I want, yeah, mama. There's always going to be some white woman going, nah, my ticket says 24 seat. Yeah, mama, just get in there, man. and then when they comes down the alley, when they come down the alley with their food, they'll be like, scope or chicken feet, scope or chicken feet. Scope or chicken feet, this is where people go. Which one is the one which is not a head? What is the chicken feet? What's the difference between toilet paper, tissue, and serviettes?
They have different functions.
But it's the same thing. You're looking at me like you've never wiped your bum with a serviette. Come on.
I've never wiped my bum with a serviette.
Ah, this guy, he's wiped his bum with a serviette. Now he's going to look all cool on radio.
Never have.
Yeah.
What can people expect from you on Friday?
It's going to be frank talk comedy. It's going to be no holds barred kind of comedy. If you want truthful speaking and current topic, current affairs side type of comedy, this is the show to check out. But I mean, I've been doing comedy for 10 years. So I've sort of put together the best bits I've done in the last 10 years and the most current stuff that I find the funniest.
All right, so it's going to be a mixture of some of stuff that people have.
But that's like 5% though. That's like 5%.
And then 95% is going to be.
95% is pretty much new stuff.
All right. Well, I've always enjoyed your comedy.
Thank you very much.
Every time I've seen you in a stage somewhere, I've laughed my heart out.